it is love. It doesn't always
feel like
that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he used the word attachment, because the word love can be so loaded. I think, like, for me, I can speak for myself, but I think a lot of Asian children feel this way. They're just like, oh, I don't think my parents love me.
Yeah.
You're nodding. You're like big time nodding.
Yeah.
And just the number of times that I've heard that is, okay, there's something going on. So yeah, attachment, but definitely love. And it's just like, when I think about it rationally, it's like, of course the parents love you. Like, how could they not love you? Do you like, is there a world where the parent is, I'm going to make a kid and then I'm going to
take care of them for 20 years
or I'm going to make a kid and I'm going to intentionally hurt it?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. It's, for me, I think the gap is really much more in implementation.
Yeah, the felt experience of it. If your primary felt experience is anxiety, that matters a lot.
Yeah.
And that says something really important.
Yeah. So it's also obviously the clash of what because I think this is the other thing, is I noticed more of these questions of, oh, do my parents love me, in Asian kids who had grown up in the West, who had Asian parents who had grown up in the East. And I think, versus like Asian kids who had grown up in Asia to Asian parents. And I think that what makes this question more pronounced is the fact that Asian kids grow up surrounded by their Western peers and Western media, where love is portrayed in a very specific way. It's portrayed in a very openly affectionate, doting, physically affectionate, that way everyone says, I love you. It's just like very open for display. And when you go over to your Western friends' houses and you see how their family is, and you're like, what? My parents don't do this. My parents, like, as soon as I come home, instead of being like, oh, honey, how are you? Oh, I love you. They're like, why did you not score better on this test? It's so classic. It's such a trope.
Asian, not Bijan.
Yeah, exactly. It's an Asian fail.
Yeah.
So that, like, stark contrast between experiences of different cultures, I think when you're young, you really internalize that as, oh, it's because my family is different. It's because my parents are different from other families. And they don't love me because love for me is displayed elsewhere in a different way. And that, I think, is not a fault of Asian parents. I think that is a product of transcultural trauma. And that's something that I don't think we talk about enough. Just like what it's like for a little kid to have to navigate different rule sets and like cultural values that are very opposite to each other.